YouTube here. YouTube.
One more?
Maybe.
One more we gotta do?
Maybe.
Everybody ready?
I might not do it last night.
Are we ready?
Go live though.
Uh-oh.
7 o'clock on my phone.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Like to call Ferrysburg City Council meeting to order tonight, Monday, June 21 at 7 p.m. As a reminder, City Council, your phones need to be put away. If they are utilized during council meeting, it is viewed as a violation of the Open Meetings Act. At this time, roll call, please.
Mayor Hop,
Here.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Here.
Councilmember O'Donnell,
Here.
Councilmember Carlson, Councilmember Blease,
Here.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Here.
Councilmember Sias.
Here.
At this time, please stand and join me in the invocation. Dear Heavenly Father, please be with us tonight as we meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, and to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibilities to the past and the future, and the rights and the needs of the individuals and our community. Please continue to protect all of our men and women in uniform and keep them safe from harm. We pray this in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one. Item 5, time for public comment. This time on the agenda is for any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to City Council. Time for public comments will be given when an agenda item is discussed. If you have a comment or question, please raise your hand to be recognized by the mayor. After being recognized by the mayor, give your name and address for the record. Proceed with your comments or questions for 3 minutes. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Is there any public comments? Yes.
Hi, James Wade, 19136 Maiden Lane. It is good to be back. Although I did like some of the backgrounds in the Zoom calls. So that was interesting. Just wanted to give a quick thank you and shout out to those that attended the Cops and Cones event. I did see some familiar faces. Craig was there. That may have even been your day off. I'm not sure, but thank you. And of course, Scott, thank you for joining us. Tim, great seeing you there. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but certainly interested in hearing more about the program we talked about child safety. That seems really interesting to me. Of course, Mayor Hop, great to see you. Looking forward to your future endeavors, and here to support you any way I can. Thank you.
Public comments at this time? Okay, hearing none, we'll move down to item 6. Consideration approval of consent agenda. A, approve the June 7, 2021 City Council meeting minutes as printed.
So moved. Support.
Motion support. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to item 7, new business. A, discussion take action if appropriate to improve Jean Street ditch.
According to our packet, it's gonna cost the city about
We
25.
first need a motion support before we move forward.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Support. Okay, further discussion, Councilmember DeWitt?
Okay, according to what we got in our paper, it's gonna cost the city about $2,500 to have the city crew do it.
Dig it out, that's correct.
That's just the disposal of the waste material, correct?
Correct.
Okay, but we're not subcontracting any part of this?
Well, there's some trees in there, we'll have to look at subcontracting out and the DPW's schedule. We'll look at that as well. If we don't have time or we can't do the trees, we'll subcontract out.
Talking an inordinate amount of money here over and above the 2,500 to haul the spoils, correct?
No, we figured $2,500 if it was contracted out.
But are we contracting out or is the city crew gonna do it?
Depending on the work schedule and when they can get to it.
Well, I'm having a problem with us constantly subcontracting stuff out when we have adequate staff to do it. We have adequate trucks backhoe. You know, we just bought a new backhoe, new trucks, and I'm just having a real issue with some of this stuff, being subcontracted out all the time.
So just to clarify, in the motion, was that just to dig the ditch out or to enclose it?
To dig it out,
Just dig it out?
option 1, remove vegetation, brush in and alongside ditch, dig out 6 to 8 inches of sediment at 50% slope, haul those spoils to the yard. That's the motion I made.
Good evening. I'm Joe Lyons, 16857 Virginia. I live across the street from where the Jean Street ditch starts at Virginia Street and then proceeds on through, I guess, the allotted area from and I would take issue with you, Mike, on your motion. Ask you if you would please to reconsider going to the extent of filling that ditch with the gravel as indicated in option number 2 from the W. And the reason being this, the ditch as it sits now, if it's excavated and remove 6 to 8 inches of soil from, as they indicate in the memo, will only bring the level of the bottom of the ditch further below exit goes into the drain that's on Virginia Street. The way that it's configured now, the ditch traverses south-north, and there's about this much space between the bottom of the ditch with all of the compost and everything that's in it from collected over the last 25 or 30 years since anything done to it, and the bottom of the drain that empties in new drain that now extends into the drain down the street, I guess eventually lake. But what I'm saying is that if they excavate 6 or 8 inches out of there, haul that away, don't do anything more, now instead of there being this big of a gap, there'll be this big of a gap, and the condition or water that will be retained there will be even greater than it is now. So if the job's going to be done the way it should be done, my opinion, they should first of all go in, take out all the junk trees, the jungle that's there, and then take out the soft dirt that's in that ditch, put in some gravel, put in a sock tube, and cover it up with some gravel and then some more sand and some black dirt, and make it look like something out of it. And by the way, thank you all. You know, it's nice to know that a citizen can bring something to the attention of management and council, and very, very quickly find it on the agenda for you folks to consider. I do appreciate your support, Mike, and I would appreciate all of your support in looking at this from the standpoint of options.
Yes, it is.
Andrew Way. Right next to.
For the record,
Pardon?
please, can you state your address for the record,
I'm
please?
sorry.
That's okay.
I've never gotten up before. Been lots, hundreds of meetings. I never had the nerve since this.
If we don't bite,
I know, but I'm not used to it. My address is 16860 Virginia Avenue in Lake. Okay, when I moved to this address 31 years ago, the ditch was not there. After I moved there, And after about 2 or 3 years later, Howie Van Hall reminded me I had forgotten. He reminded me that I had a flood situation in my crawl space up to about the rafter. So they had to come in, take care of it. It was high water there. So what they did, they built the ditch at that time. And, but they neglected, I don't know if that's what they say, but it was never kept up all these years. Therefore, we have this situation. We've had flooding. We've had stuff, mosquitoes, everything. Even Rebecca's husband or their dog has gone over there tried to swim in it, gone home, anyway, it has not been taken care of. The city probably would have cost a lot less money at that time. So that's it's bad.
And with that, to make it public knowledge that yes, my property is back there, and we do back up to Ms. Way's property, but according to the DPW, our property does not add any water to that ditch or that wet area that they're looking at. So, further comments and questions from council?
Connor?
Yes.
I went over and looked at the ditch, and I did note that there was a lot of sediment in the drain itself. I think that's what they're talking about, removing the topsoil that is above the where the drain is, and getting that down to that level that would open it up. Also, Mr. Lyons told me while I was there that he cleaned it out. That could be another problem with the drainage problem. I would like to see us first go with the having our DPW clean it out, and I support Mike's option 1 here. That's the least expensive. Hopefully we won't have high water again for a while. So I'd like to see what that does first. That's the most fiscally responsible, I think. And if we still have a problem, we can go with option 2.
Your Honor, I also support option 1, and the reason being is because we're going to dig out 6 to 8 inches of sediment under option 1, and it's a lot less expense at a 50% slope. And if it doesn't work, we can always move to option 2. You know, we're already at a good start. If we already dig out 6 to 8 inches of sediment under option 1, that means we only got a few more inches under option 2 if option 1 doesn't work. So I suggest going with option 1 initially and seeing where we go from there.
Mosquito haven, and there is often just a biodegradable smell that you get from leaves and wet, and with all the standing water that we've had. But this year the water has decreased, so it's much drier. So with hearing no more comments or questions. Oh, sure.
Tonight, but when I moved there were no shrubs, no any kind of growth. It looked like just, it was beautiful houses. No trees, lot trees, go through and not just a big.
Because of the water in your basement is why that ditch was put in
Right.
there. So
We need a drainage, period.
Sure.
To go in. We've already got it along the street.
okay,
Why not go that little, yes, fix it.
so okay, that's what we're discussing right now. Yes.
Connor, I want to assure the citizens that we won't neglect this issue. If option one does not work for you, you're welcome to come back, and we're aware of it, and we're on top of it, and we want to find a solution as well, you know, to work with you guys, but we're trying to do it, you know, financially responsible as possible, so, you know, but I want to assure you that we will address it if this doesn't work. I mean, if we do go with option one, you know, I don't want you to think we're just gonna abandon you.
My only fear is that as you excavate that ditch, make it deeper than it is currently, it's only going to hold more water than it does now, because the level of the ditch is below the level of inlet to the drain that goes down. So there's the big issue.
Water doesn't drain
We're
up.
only going to exacerbate the problem.
Sure, sure.
So,
Yeah.
but I understand where you are, and I understand fiscal city, but we don't see this fixing the problem. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
If we looked at, maybe, creating, putting some fill towards the middle and then sloping it down, you know, and, you know, adding some base to that ditch and maybe building it up. So I understand what you're saying, where the pipe is higher than the actual ground once you clean out that sediment, so.
I mean, it is
You
now.
know, yeah.
And to clean it out even further is only gonna be a bigger issue of standing water. I appreciate what you're saying, and yeah, that would probably help some. You're gonna clean out the sludge that's in there, then, and then add gravel or dirt or something to bring up the level to the point where the water level can actually fill into the drain. That would be helpful. Okay. Be happy to have them knock on my door most of the time.
I'll review these comments with the Public Works Department.
Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe we can set up a time when he'll be out there, you can meet him out there. so.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, I'll check with him first.
You bet.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving down to 7B. Discussion, take action if appropriate to adopt the ordinance number 317, an ordinance to amend chapter 151, the Ferrysburg City Code, flood damage prevention, to amend the following section subtitle FEMA floodplain management.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I would make a motion that we adopt ordinance number 317, ordinance to amend chapter 151 of the Ferrysburg City Code, flood damage prevention, and amend the following sections subtitled FEMA floodplain management. Support.
Motion. Support. Discussion regarding this. This is something that comes before council periodically from the federal. When was the last time that we did an improvement? It's about, okay.
Your Honor, if I
Yes.
may. Craig, no, they haven't changed the elevation of the floodplain. The actual, what would be the actual elevation, a few years ago in 2012, they raised it like 6-8 inches. This is not raising the elevation from what it currently is.
That's correct. So the maps just outline to show the different areas of the city that are in the floodplain and those that are low and moderate risk.
But my question is, have they changed the elevation of the floodplain?
Huh?
they had done some adjustments 2-3 years ago when FEMA did the public comments. They were making some adjustments. Some areas went up, some went down.
Right, back in 2016, when the maps came out, there was some of the areas in North Shore Drive that were in the floodplain.
Okay.
And they received a lot of comments on that and backed those out.
Those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to 7C, introduction of ordinance number 318, amend the city code, chapter 154 zoning, article 4 special land uses, section 4.8, and article 9 district and district requirements, section 9.120, to allow and regulate accessory upper floor dwelling units in L1 zone districts. Yes,
Craig, how many,
we need a motion of support, please.
this is just an introduction,
Okay,
correct?
yes,
We don't need a motion?
correct.
How many, properties does this actually affect?
There's 3 zones that this would affect light industrial. Basically, the channel side property that's over there by, south of 2nd Street. The channel side property that is west of Plank Street. In your packet was a copy of the zoning map, and those areas outlined in the black are the properties that would be affected by this change in the zoning ordinance.
Basically, we're looking at 3 or 4, maybe 5 properties in the city.
There's a number of parcels in there, but there's 3 zone districts.
This is strictly those areas.
So all those
not-
properties in Carmen would be eligible for this.
But it wouldn't involve any of the residential area over in the cottage overlay or any of those. It's
That's
not
correct.
adjusting that, okay.
Assuming this went by the planning commission and they brought it to us?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Right.
Yeah, Mike, just to answer your question, yeah, the planning committee spent a lot of time on this, so they reviewed everything, and it's only the light industrial zone 1s, so there's not very many parcels that fit that. So, yeah, we looked at everything, and we don't see any issue at all.
Moving down to item 7D. We have a list of approvals, but we will be doing those each individually tonight. First one, approve the mayor's appointment of John Rifle to the Planning Commission for a term ending July 1, 2024.
Support.
Is there support? Support. Okay. Any further discussion?
Just saying that I served with John on the zoning board. He's always prepared. He's almost always there. I don't believe he's missed a whole lot of meetings. He's conscientious and does a good job.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to 7E, approve the mayor's appointment of Karen Maktovich to the Planning Commission for a term ending July 1, 2024.
So move.
Support.
Any further comments or questions?
Scott, you serve on the planning commission. I'm assuming you are in support of this?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hearing none, all those
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to 7F, approve the mayor's appointment of Madeline Brooks to the Recreation Commission for a term ending July 1, 2024.
Moved.
Motion support? Further discussion, comments? Hearing none. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to 7G. Approve the mayor's appointment of Christopher Shroop from the Recreation Commission, term ending July 1, 2024. Motion support. Is there support?
Support.
Okay. Further comments or question? Hearing none, all those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. 7H, approve the mayor's appointment of Eric Snyder to the Kitchelenquist Hartford Dunes Preserve Board for the term ending July 1, 2024. Motion support. Further comments or question?
Rich, you're on the board. As I read the minutes, Eric's usually there and does a good job. Okay. Okay, thank you. Lighting a fire under him? Okay, thank you.
All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to 7I, approve the mayor's appointment of Colleen Mitchell to the Beautification Commission for a term ending July 1, 2024.
Support.
Motion support. Further discussion?
Quick question for Craig. It appears we're quite short on the beautification committee.
Yes, there are some openings on there. We have 2 vacancies for, 1 vacancy with Colleen's. We have 1 more vacancy for a regular member, 2 for an alternate.
3 people short.
Correct.
Technically.
Yep. There's 3 positions open.
One, okay. I wonder if we want to roll the beautification committee into the rec committee and expand it a little bit. The rec committee, it seems we've had problems filling the beautification, and they have quite a responsibility with the parties and such what. I think maybe we should discuss that in the future, but that being said, I think I seconded the motion if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to 7J, approve the appointment of Terry Gronemat to the Board of Review for a term ending January 1, 2025.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to 7K, approve the appointment of blank to the Spring Lake Board for a term ending July 1, 2024. We had two applicants for this. Yes.
Your Honor, I would make a motion to appoint Vance Moyer. He's been on the board. I personally, two of the neighbors and I personally asked him to make sure we get our spraying like we paid for. It was taken care of immediately. They actually came back last year and sprayed where they didn't. So he's done a good job, and I think he's an outstanding candidate.
Support.
I have a comment. Looks like there's another candidate, Dave Billinghurst. I would support that candidate. I know Vance has been on there a long time, but I personally don't know him. I know Dave, and I think he would do a great job on the Spring Lake Water Board.
So we have a motion support for Vance Myers. So, all those in favor for Vance Myers stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Nay. Okay. Congratulations to Vance Myers. Moving down to 7L, approve the appointment of 6 individuals for the Economic Development Task Force. And I would recommend that the positions be filled as the mayor and Councilmember Blease, because Councilmember Blease is on the ballot for mayor in the fall, in November, so then that would allow that contingency to hit that continuation to continue. And then Roger Jonas and John Raphael. And then also to accept the 3 candidates, having one a non-voting member at this point with our residents at large, that, because we have 3 individuals that applied, because one of the individuals that applied is on the ballot to become a council member in November. So then he could move up to the position as a council member along with the mayor, and then the other 2 would hold their current positions. Just a recommendation. So we would need a motion support.
Alec Magalou and Travis Andrews for the at-large.
Then he
Well,
would,
we only have 2 openings left.
correct. But if we had one was a non-voting member that was in the attendance, so after the election in November, William Kate would move on to council and could be the council representative. The other 2 individuals would then continue to serve as voting members. Otherwise, we will have one open seat and council would have to wait.
Well, I understand what you're trying to do, get some continuity there. So Bill Kate would be a non-voting member at this point, but until November, and then he would take over.
Conversation, so then when, after the election in November, he would be able to move forward.
Okay.
Yes.
I'd rather see that go to a council member that's been on the council for a few years and has more experience with the council than.
You
just
may
giving
make that argument in November.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not saying I won't vote for him, but
Right.
I'm just saying, you know, so I guess, yeah.
It's just my thought. I would still like to see Councilmember Blease be appointed along with the mayor.
Yeah, I agree with Councilmember. No objections to that.
Because then, right, then that still would open up a council seat that council could decide in November who would fill that seat along with the mayor.
Hop, Scott Blease, Roger Jonas, John Rifle, Alec Magalou, and Travis Andrews, with Bill Kate as a non-voting member. Is that what the motion is before us?
And Elizabeth Butler as
Mhm.
the chamber representative.
Yeah, the chamber representative, that was, okay, that's the way we are voting?
That's the recommendation.
Okay, I will make that motion that we accept the mayor's recommendation.
Or
Further comments or questions? Those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to 7M, discussion take action to approve the 2020-2021 budget amendments. That additional information was on our table this evening when we arrived.
So moved.
Support.
So, Mr. Bessinger, would you like to
So
review this?
just we're on the budget here, we're increasing the election department. The May election, it was a city cost. We weren't planning on that, so we're raising the budget items for those. On the next page, on the public services department, the spring cleanup was a little more expensive than we anticipated. With the slow or winter, less snow here, some of the DPD crew spent some extra time here at City Hall doing some extra work. And we did some maintenance on the bike path along 174th Avenue. So to pay for those extra expenses, we're proposing that $5,300 be decreased from the planning services and the contingency fund be zeroed out from 30,000 to 0. And then the bottom numbers would all stay the same. For the building department, the next page on Fund 249, we've had a good year for permits being issued, and so that increased the revenue. On the flip side of that, when you have more permits issued, you have more inspections, so we have an increase in our inspector costs for the building, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical. So we're showing an increase in the building permits and some of the other permits, increase in the expenses, and we'll balance out at $97,000 for that fund for the year end. The following page, we purchased a hot patcher and the ATV. In this fiscal year, those two items were not budgeted. To pay for those, we're proposing that money from the pickup truck be zeroed out. That was not purchased. The dump truck has been ordered, but it won't be delivered until the next fiscal year, so we propose taking some money out of that line item and to keep the fund in balance.
Craig, when is our fiscal year ends in July, correct?
June 30th.
Okay. The dump truck isn't scheduled to be delivered until what, September?
Late September, or late August, early September.
Okay, so we have time to readjust the budget to cover that expense?
The new budget includes the purchase of that truck.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions regarding these budget adjustments? Hearing none. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to item 7N, discussion take action if appropriate to approve a bid for Plumbers Environmental Services Incorporated to clean 151 storm sewer catch basins for a cost of $18,875.
Make a motion to approve it.
Support.
Motion support. Further discussion regarding this.
Craig, I see we sent out a request for four bids, and we only got one back.
That's correct.
Has plumbers done work for us in the past?
Yes, they have.
We have been satisfied,
Yes.
and they haven't come in over budget or anything like that?
No. It's a not to exceed cost unless we add more catch basins.
Okay, thank you.
Uh, 2018, 2019, that was done through the SAW grant.
Comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to 7O, discussion take action if appropriate to cancel Tuesday, July 6th, City Council meeting.
So moved.
Support.
Motion support. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Moving down to work sessions. GHACF mini grants, and there's a list of those that was provided in our packet.
So this item is on the agenda for City Council to look at the list to see if there's anything missing or needs to be added. If not, we'll present this list to City Council later this week for you to rank, and then submit those to City Hall. With the highest ranking score, we'll start working on the top three. We'll start working on grant applications for those, which are due July 30th.
Something that council, because Grand Haven, I received information that the city of Grand Haven put it out. They put it out to their residents to vote on the top three. Is that how I understand that they were going to do that?
So once we pick the top three, we'll put grant applications in, and those will be advertised on the Facebook page, and then the residents will vote on those. Correct.
Okay, just so you understand where the next phase will go with this. Okay, yes.
Paved parking area at Sunnyside Park, didn't we include that in one of the paving projects?
Yes, the parking area will be paved.
So we can scratch this off this list?
We can, yes.
Okay, let's scratch that.
Well, we're talking about a paved walking path from the parking lot to the playground equipment. When the guys come in and do the sidewalk repairs, we're gonna get a price from them. If it's reasonable, we're gonna move forward. If it's not, it might be a possible grant application.
Clarify this in that, we're applying for a grant for a paved walking path.
At Sunnyside Park, yep.
Because the parking lot itself is included in one of the, projects we already approved. Correct? Okay.
So the attention to council will be when you receive this information, make sure that you promptly rank them. And don't forget. Okay. Any other comments or questions regarding this list? No? Looks like it's pretty involved. Okay. We will move down to our next work session. Work session is the Spring Lake No Wake. There was, last July, City Council approved a new, or an updated ordinance, and that was attached. And so I'm gonna turn this conversation over to Mayor Pro Tem O'Donnell, because you were the one that asked for this to be on for the work session.
Okay.
Mike.
Okay, there's been a couple issues out on Smith's Bayou with the boaters exceeding the no-wake zone, causing problems with the along the shoreline. And I've been interested in trying to get that something to get that resolved. The only thing that's not in here is there's no nothing that's about enforcement of the no wake zone. I know the sheriff is out there. They are trying to catch the people, but I'd like to see maybe some further steps, such as an posted enforcement, maybe a notice to the public that if they get caught, that they will not only receive a state fine, but a city fine as well. In this particular ordinance, there is no enforcement data. So that's part of that enforcement is if we can get a MC number off the vessel, that the owners of the watercraft would be held responsible. Be a way to maybe to enforce it. It's hard to identify the drivers and that they don't always carry IDs. But if the owner of the vessel knows that they will be responsible for the actions taken by the operators, that might help decrease the problems we have out there.
This be a discussion to bring in the Marine Patrol officer that we have for Ottawa County and possibly the sergeant.
Yes, we can review this with him, yes, sure.
Okay. Yes.
Wrote the ordinance. Ottawa County and the Coast Guard will enforce it. So what's the issue here?
I just want to get some added teeth into this.
If you get a ticket in a no wake zone exceeding the speed limit, that's already on the books. The law is, and the penalty is, you go to court and you pay the fine. So what are we even discussing this for? You lost me, Tim. We wrote the ordinance. The sheriff enforces it. He writes a ticket. You go to court, you pay your fine. What am I missing here?
If you look at the ordinance, the enforcement.
But we don't have to write an enforcement in our ordinance. The state law already enforces the ordinance we wrote. So why are we even discussing it? You lost me there because we wrote an ordinance. It's clear. You can't use this in no wake zone. Sheriff catches you making wake in a no wake zone, that's a ticket. Correct?
Correct.
So you're gonna go to court and pay your fine, or they're gonna arrest you.
Right.
So why do we need to do anything with this? I'm baffled. The enforcement is already there. You got a shit guy in a badge saying, hey, I'm writing you a ticket, you're gonna pay the fine.
Correct. I just want to put more teeth into this because we have a lot of people that are out there ignoring the no wake zone.
What we need to do
And-
is put more enforcement, like the Marine Patrol, perhaps pay. Target that area. The penalties, the ordinance on the books, the penalties are already in state law. So our only responsibility here is to perhaps direct the sheriff to do more patrols in that area. At an additional cost. I'm assuming we pay for so many hours, correct?
That's correct. And in the last 2 years, city council has worked with the village and Spring Lake Township to pay for extra patrols on Spring Lake. And that was really due to the high water on the lake. With the low water, we're just kind of monitoring it. At this time, we have not requested or offered to pay for extra patrols on the lake. Review with the other communities to see if they have an issue and they're willing to pay for extra patrol.
Law's already on the books. They're already writing tickets and enforcing it.
That's also, I understand, they write.
Officers. Also, just to see if there's anything more, or if they're satisfied with how this ordinance is written, because there has been a change of leadership with Ottawa County. That we
Okay,
have?
yep.
Okay.
The law's already on the books. So the only question we got is, are we gonna pay for more Marine Patrol to enforce the law that's already existing? That's the only question I got. But
I just had a suggestion. Maybe we should put up one of those street cams they have for the red lights, and somebody's speeding down there, they get a picture of it, and they get to send a ticket in the mail.
There'd be more so for trucks going over Smith's Bridge.
Okay.
So we're moving down to our next item, 7R, the work session electronic packets. I only asked for this to be revisited because in the years past, we used to receive electronic packets. With the paper usage that we go through on a weekly basis, and also with council, I don't know, is this something that we would like to revisit again? The information is already readily available on the internet, on our city website, which it was not previously when we had electronic packets. And then we went away with that and we went back to paper packets. Just wondering where council would be.
my thought would be individual council members should be able to make that choice. Don't swear at me now.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, one thing I advocated for a few years ago was that, I don't know, you guys read any of that sewer and water stuff? You do? Yeah. I file it in the round file, yeah. We have Craig. We have a public works director that, attends every meeting. Anything major comes up, they're gonna inform us. I don't care how many gallons we pump, how many gallons we buy. I flush, it goes away. That's all I care. You know, so a lot of that paper, perhaps we could, eliminate, because, you know, I got filed paper like this on my table from all the meetings, and some of it is necessary. Some of it, you know, like, who cares how much water we bought or how much? If it's out of whack, you're gonna tell us it's out of whack, and we may have to address it. We're not gonna address it anyway, because all the illegal sump pumps, which we're not gonna address, so, you know, some of the reports we get perhaps are things that we don't need to know, basically what I'm saying.
I would be in support of electronic packets more. I think there's just a lot of paper waste, so I would support electronic packets.
I think we should leave it up to the council member, let them decide if they want paper. I mean, some council members aren't online, or, you know, don't have the capabilities of printing it, or whatever.
City is not purchasing laptops. So you're utilizing your own electronic device, which then opens you up for any type of a FOIA request. So there's another layer that you need to review and look at if that's something that you want to utilize. Because in the past, I mean, we did this, we went away with it, just wanted to bring it back, what people thought. So I will leave it up to individuals to reach out to staff and let, I think it appears to be only maybe one or two that wouldn't get a packet. So.
I would support the, council member choice on that. Because of my work schedule, there are some times where I'm not able to make it, to get my packet until, Monday. So. It's available for the public, yes.
Okay. With that being said, down to item 8, public comments. Yes.
Patrick Schwa, 17605, 168th Street. Brings back some old memories here. I'm in favor of what I believe you said, tablet free council member. Payment for those would come from paper savings, and yet personal choice, because I for one. So I would think that would be worthy of consideration, whether it's this council or not. And then it can be passed on, that tablet can be passed on to the future council. That's all.
Any other public comments? Hearing none, we'll move down to reports. City manager.
Or,
Okay, we'll start with council members. Councilmember Sias. Councilmember Belize.
I just want to thank everybody who attended the Cops and Cones a couple weeks ago. Ottawa County Sheriff showed up, so it was nice to speak with him for a while. Deputies, quite a few of the residents were there. Tim was there, Will was there, myself, Mayor Hop. I thought it was pretty well attended, and I think we can, keep doing it. We got a lot of positive feedback for the event. So, and a report? Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem O'Donnell.
I also attended the Cones Cops, and as a representative of the fire department as well. Had a lot of great interaction with the public over there. I handed out a copy of our proclamation for the Safe Child Awareness Day, and got a lot of very enthusiastic comments. People are looking forward to future developments in that project, and so I'm glad that was well received. And I think the more we can contact the public, I'd like to see more events like this in the future. And a report.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yeah, we've discussed over the past year a forever millage for road construction. Can we put that on work session? I think we all kind of supported it in different shapes and manners. So let's, Debbie, when is the last date we have to put it on the November election?
It will be this August 10.
Basically, we would have to make a decision at the next work session to get it on the ballot in November, correct? So just keep that in mind, guys. And we've talked about it, we need it. We'll have to make a decision the second meeting, well, the first meeting in July, because we canceled the first one. Okay.
It would need to be then an agenda item for motion, take action versus a work session. It's a work session, though we're not voting on it.
second.
Discuss it. Well, let's put it on as agenda item. Let's, I think the discussion we've had is at 1 mil for roads, a forever millage, or however, we can go back in the minutes and see what was discussed about, and let's get that on the ballot. People want good roads, they're gonna have to pay for it. It's that simple.
Good point.
End of my thought.
Councilmember Montgomery. Just want to thank everybody with the Caps and Cones. First time that we've had out of the 3 years, we had the sheriff there, which was really, really awesome. He was in full uniform in that, and so just his suit. And then our officers, Allard and Dyer, were both there. Mayor Pro Tem O'Donnell with the fire truck. Councilmember Montgomery was there with your family, and it was great to see everybody. Councilmember Blease, it was great. Also, Mr. Buzinger, and I think he was in charge of the weather, so thank you for the beautiful weather. It was well turned out this year. I think it was our largest group that we've had. Anyways, and a reminder to city council members that you received your board and commission booklet, and on the back page, there's a page that you need to sign and turn back in. So just a reminder, probably needs to be dusted off, because I know Councilmember Carlson already turned yours in, so congratulations. A long time ago, yes. Just a reminder as we're going through and checking things. So that's it. So moved.
Right here?
What? Yeah, that's it. This. Right here.
Okay.
This.
Don't sign it, Jerry. That was
This.
mine. That was my copy.
Got it?
That was my copy. I'm signing it right
Scott's
now. What's
signing
the
his
date
right
today?
now.
What's the date?
21st. All day.
6/21.